Aloha everyone, welcome back to Isolation Libations. I'm Joey Joyce, I'm your bartender. This is episode number 44, yes indeed. Happy Thursday to y'all. A reminder, we make cocktails every weeknight to pair along with the music of Brian Chartrand on his Happy Half Hour on facebook.com/Brian Chartrand Music every weeknight at 5 o'clock West Coast time. So, yesterday was our midweek mocktail. We took a break from the alcohol, but today, as you can see, we are back to the booze. This cocktail is actually kind of a play on a post-tiki classic called the Jungle Bird. That's from 1978. It was created at the Kuala Lumpur Hilton. Now, that cocktail really kind of took off or had this revival maybe about 5 years ago or so. Everybody was kind of doing Jungle Bird riffs, and it really kind of popped back up in popularity. That cocktail is lime juice, pineapple juice, demerara simple syrup, Campari, and then a dark rum. And it's a really good cocktail. For whatever reason, I never really made them. But when I started fooling around with this cocktail for today, I was thinking, oh, this is actually kind of Jungle Bird-esque. So kind of riffed on that a little bit. But this is not called the Jungle Bird, this is called the Tiki Room Birds, because the Tiki Room Birds are here every day. And anything Disney is always fantastic in my eyes. Well, anything Disneyland, some of these new movies, we won't talk about that. But yeah, so this definitely kind of tiki style cocktail. Got my cool Smuggler's Cove tiki mug. Thank you people at Smuggler's Cove for that. Fantastic tiki bar if you're in San Francisco. Absolutely go there, it's the best. Yeah, so let's see, there are a couple ingredients that you do have to make ahead of time, so apologize for that, for not having those recipes out earlier. But the tepache, I did post just now a pictures and directions on how to make tepache. Again, it's that kind of Mexican fermented beverage with pineapple rind and spices. Really cool, really easy to do, fun thing to have on hand. And then when you're finished with it, when you strain everything out and you're left with all those the pineapple skins and the spices that have kind of been marinating, I just kind of made my own house rum blend and infused that, and then came up with my own spiced rum essentially. So I did a blend of two different rums and one cachaça, and that's this one here, and it's cool, worked really well. So if you do want to try to make this one right away and your tepache is not ready, because it takes at least like 3 to 4 days to ferment and get all cool, you could try, if you had like the Jarritos Mexican soda, like the pineapple one, you could try kind of subbing that out for the tepache in the recipe. Or if you just had regular pineapple juice, you could do that, maybe a little splash of soda water too, so you kind of mimic some of the bubbles, the natural carbonation from the tepache. And then for the spiced rum, whatever spiced rum you have, you could try doing that. But definitely, if you can, I recommend try making the tepache. It's kind of using leftover, the pineapple skins and all that. That's a fun thing to have. So there are obviously a lot of ingredients, so let's start building it. I'm gonna start with fresh squeezed lime juice. I'll go 1 ounce of this. So there's so many flavors happening in here, and a lot of things that have some sweetness. So you need that ounce of lime juice to try to balance everything out. Then the orgeat, again, I'm using the Small Hand Foods. I don't have a weird time saying that name for some reason. Their caps seal very tightly. Then 1 ounce of this orgeat. Now again, if you're using like the Giffard orgeat, it's gonna taste a little bit different. I'm actually gonna put like a smidge more. I found this is just like a little bit more subtle. It's not quite as assertive as the Giffard. Still really nice, it's just a different ingredient. All right, now like I said, in the Jungle Bird, there's Campari. I'm using Aperol instead. Aperol is less bitter than Campari, but we'll get to the vermouth. I know I said Punti Mez. That lends some bitterness that this doesn't have, but we'll talk about that in a second. So for Aperol, going 1/2 ounce. This is just gonna give some nice kind of orange flavors. Again, it does add a little bit of sweetness too, and there's a bitterness as well, but I think the orange is what I like that balances in here. Now, vermouth. The recipe, I list Punti Mez, which is again kind of a bitter, sweet vermouth. this is Dolan Rouge. This looks darker than Dolan Rouge normally is. It's because I will sometimes blend my vermouths. So this is about a little more than a half Dolan Rouge, and the rest is Punti-Mez. So it's kind of obviously an in-between between the Dolan Rouge and the Punti-Mez. It's like playing around with that sometimes. There's nothing that says that you can't make your own little vermouth blend if you maybe don't want something quite as bitter as Punti-Mez, or you would just want to add a little bit of bitterness to your Dolan. It's cool. Unless they're paying you money to not do that, go for it and do whatever you want. So I would have just done Punti-Mez, I will say that, but I realized I used all of it. I didn't have any left over after what I put in here, so this is what we're doing. And for this, we'll go 3/4 of an ounce. All right. And now we're getting to the rums. So I have 3 different rums, kind of, but actually there's 3 different rums in this one, so it's almost like 5 different rums happening in here. But it's a nice way to you kind of highlight the best out of each of them. The Pussers, I really like. It does have some of that, little bit of that funk, not as much as like a Smith & Cross, but it's real nice, molassesy, little funky. And we're gonna go 1/2 ounce of the Pussers. If you had the Pussers gunpowder strength, that's a higher proof one, that one's really good too, and I would use that probably if I had it. All right, and then now the Crucian, the Blackstrap rums. And you can see, very dark rum. This has a lot of those molasses notes. Gonna give some body, backbone to this cocktail. So same thing here, 1/2 ounce. It's just fun to kind of blend rum sometimes, especially in tiki drinks, but there should be a purpose for it. You're not just kind of haphazardly throwing things in, but you're layering these flavors, and you know, the spice notes are gonna play nicely with the Blackstrap, and then that little funk background from the Pussers. There's a reason. Okay, so this is my kind of house spiced rum. So again, sat on the leftover from the tepache. I put in, there's a Flor de Caña, the Nicaraguan, the silver rum, 4-year-old or younger, and then the Ray and Nephew, the overproof, the white, really high proof Jamaican rum. So that has some funk too. And then a little bit of a cachaça, which is a Brazilian sugarcane spirit, kind of similar to like a rum agricole, so made from fresh pressed sugarcane juice, and that gives a nice little grassiness note too. Now here, this, we're gonna go 1 ounce. Try if you can to make sure you get it all into the shaker and not so much on the table. I find that's better. All right, so that's it for now. We're gonna hold off because we're gonna kind of top off with a tepache. So let's put ice in our mug and then ice in our shaker. Now for this one, I do like kind of a cracked or crushed ice. Make sure you have enough so when you spill it, you still have ice remaining. Again, this is probably gonna kind of pack down, so it's good to have some left over that you can top up if you need a little bit more. All right, you could conceivably shake this on cracked ice and then just dump it, ice and everything, into your mug. I like to shake it and then strain it onto fresh ice. I think maybe if you had harder, colder ice, that would work better. This is like a little bit soft, and I just think it's gonna dilute too much if I were to shake it with the crushed ice. That's what I think anyway. I don't know. Alrighty. Let's see how this fits in here. This mug is about 16 ounces, so keep that in mind when you're building your cocktail. Yeah, perfect. So it looks like there's room for about 2 ounces left in here. So I'm just gonna top it off, eyeball it. Yeah, cool. Okay, and then for garnish, I'm doing mint. So remember, you kind of slap your mint, get those oils out. And then a lime wheel. You could You can change it up. You can do whatever you want. Tiki's fun to garnish. You can usually do something crazy, but keep in mind, pretty simple. So there is our Tiki Room Birds. Cheers. Enjoy Brian's music. Yeah, that's killer. Yes, enjoy the music. Try to make this drink. It's worth it. Buy this stuff. Make a drink. Enjoy. I'll see you tomorrow, Friday. Adios.